Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another masterclass on our master painter, Klimt, Gustav Klimt, but a different painting. We just finished up The Kiss, and we're moving into Adele, the woman in gold. And I will tell you that I have a lot of notes in front of me on this. I collected a lot when I was doing The Kiss, but this morning, as I was reading over my notes and checking, um, a few, little things that I wanted to put in to spice it up even more in regards to Adele's husband. I found another little tidbit on The Kiss. Oh my God. This painting, there was so much that I found out, and so many times that I changed my opinion on who I thought it was. And in the beginning, I thought, no, this is not Gustav and his girlfriend, because I was going by a quote that I read. I was reading up on famous quotes that Klimt had said. And there wasn't many, maybe about 5 or 6. And there was one that was like, if you want to know who I am, you just look at my artwork and you'll be able to decipher who the man is. But he had also said in a quote that there are no self-portraits of me. He didn't find his face interesting at all. And so he decided that he was not going to paint himself. But this is what I found today. So Adele Bauer was from a wealthy Jewish Viennese family. Her father was the director of the Wiener Bankerverein, the 7th largest bank in Austria, and the general director of the Oriental Railway. Now, I don't know if that's the Orient Express. And these were like the little things that I was checking. So in the late 1890s, Adele met Gustav Klimt and may have begun a relationship with him. Opinion is divided as to whether Adele and Klimt had an affair. The artist Catherine Dean considered that Adele was the only society lady painted by Klimt who is known definitely to be his mistress, while the journalist Melissa Mueller and the academic Monica Tatskow write that no evidence has ever been produced that their relationship was more than a friendship. Okay. The author Frank Whitford observes that some of the preliminary sketches, which I'm going to show you anytime Klimt decided that he was going to paint something, he would do all these beautiful sketches. The only time I've seen sketches that really made me stop and be like, oh wow, that's fantastic, was when I went to the Philadelphia Art Museum and I saw the sketches of Leonardo da Vinci, and I am not kidding you, I stood in front of each one of them for about 2 hours. I could not move. I went with a girlfriend, and she had walked through the entire museum, and she was like, "You're still here," and I'm like, I can't even believe what I'm witnessing here. And the is it imagination? Is it divine intervention that came through this man, through his mind, through his hand, through his pen that he used to do these sketches? But I was so overwhelmed. I was moved to tears. And when I look at Gustav's sketches, he did 100 sketches of this painting of Adele. And I didn't realize, because Adele in Woman in Gold kind of looks very regal and like she's standing. She's not. She's lounging on a chair. And this painting is in New York. And I've been saying that I'm going back to New York to see my friends. I might go just to New York just to go to the gallery because I want to see this painting up close. But anyway, I'm digressing. I get so excited. So it was the author Frank Whitford who observed that some of the preliminary sketches that Klimt made for The Kiss showed a bearded figure, which was possibly a self-portrait. The female partner is described by Whitford as an idealized portrait of Adele. Now, Klimt did use Adele's face, and he did alter her. And I'm going to show you some of those paintings. This is This portrait of Adele is portrait number 1, and he did portrait number 2 of her, where she's standing and there's all these symbols, kind of like Lady with a Fan, where you see like the phoenix and the flowers. There's something very else interesting about this painting. So the kiss showed a bearded figure, which was possibly a self-portrait. The female partner is described by Whitford as an idealized portrait of Adele. Whitford writes that the only evidence put forward to support the theory is the position of the woman's right hand, as Adele had a disfigured finger following a childhood accident. So you know I'm going to be popping up the kiss, the original painting that is in the museum, and I'm going to be zooming in on her fingers. And so so I am going to get started on Adele, and I'll be talking to you guys and, you know, updating you. And then I'm going to do more of a voiceover of a little bit more about Adele, who she married, who she was. She was a society woman. I love the fact that she had in her home what we would call a house party or a get-together, but it was called a salon. So she would have a salon, and a salon was not just a party, it was a very eclectic group of people. You might have a painter, you might have a politician, you might have a society woman, you might have an entrepreneur, and it was to have a good mix of people together that you are hosting, and that it was for of course pleasure, you know, to get together and have good conversation, intellectual conversation, but to also educate. So this is a little bit of who Adele was, and we'll get into more who she is as we begin to paint. I'm going to get my iPad out of the way with my notes, and then I'll do a voiceover later because I really need to charge this thing. Let's get started with Adele. Here we go. So I did a little bit more painting yesterday, but I thought let's do Adele. Let's do her hair and the black. And I have some other enhancements that I can put in because this section is done. And we could talk a little bit about what I've read, but I really wanted to do a voiceover because I just feel like it's so much information that I want it to flow, because this is a master class, and I want it to be something that if you get this painting at a later date and you see that I've done a master class, much like the kiss, if the kiss enticed you in any way to get it from the Diamond Painting Shop, then I would say how nice to have a master class that you can fall back on and you can paint and listen to while you are doing, you know, what would be your whip, you know. And I also wanted to say that if you like these master classes, I will absolutely have this done by the time Summer with the Master starts. And my master for that event is Alphonse Muka, and I'm doing Night's Rest. And so I'll do a master class on him also during Summer with the Masters. And if you like this, then please, you know, join the family and subscribe. We would love to have you. We would love to hear what you think. We have some nice discussions here about the Masters, and you know, you can join in and you can give us your opinion. Believe me, we went through so many opinions with who we thought the two people were in the kiss, and now I'm back again to thinking, oh my God, maybe it really was Gustav, and maybe he took the beard off, and maybe that's why he turned his face in the kiss. I'm telling you, we went down so many rabbit holes with that painting. It was so interesting, and you could see how charged up I am with this. So we're just going to need black here. I have so much stuff on my desk. What the heck was I doing? What was I doing here? I have so much stuff on my desk. I did an enhancement on this painting, so you'll get to learn about that. I switched out one of the drills for another drill that I am just over the moon about. I just love that you really don't know. It's the first time I've done an enhancement. So you really don't know, like, what's it going to be like? Maybe you'll hate it. Maybe you should have left it alone, but I don't. I absolutely love it. I'm so happy that I did it. I'm also so happy that I have my phone back. That was a mess yesterday. I wanted to touch base with you guys so badly, and I didn't want to wait for my phone to be back in my possession. And so I did it on an iPhone, which I haven't used for a year. And, I didn't know what the heck I was doing, to tell you the truth. So I have some putty in a very skinny placer. These placers I love. I get them through Amazon. I will link them for you so that you could love them too. I love them more than the Diamond Art Club. I love them more than any of my other placers. I use them like crazy. I go through them a lot. So let me put a little link here that, hey, get that link up. Let's see here. Amazon. Skinny placers. And I will tell you, they are always out. Always. So I try and grab them when I can. So here we go, Adele. Beauty that you are. I love that Klimt not only used her face, but that he altered it so many times for so many different portraits. And while I love this portrait of Adele, number 1, Woman in Gold, I will say that I like 2. She looks to be younger, like maybe they just met. It's a younger version of her. Where this one you can see she is a woman of substance. She is a woman that is very important in Vienna. She's a socialite. She's elegant. This choker was a gift from her husband. And Klimt also used this choker in when he painted her, used her as the model for Judith and the Head of Holofernes. So she has that choker on in that portrait. And this portrait, her husband had commissioned Klimt to do as a anniversary gift to her parents. Her husband was wealthy. I believe that the age difference when they got married, I believe she was 18 and he was 35. So I'm already giving you the bullet points of what I've learned about this couple. I would love to know who was at their parties, though. We know that Gustav was there. Were there other painters there at the time? This painting also, and one other, I can't remember which one it was, but this painting was done almost parallel at the same time as The Kiss. So was he working on them both at the same time? It's so crazy. It's so crazy. When I look at these master artists, like when I did the iris painting from Van Gogh, and I was reading all about Van Gogh, and I thought, well, I'm doing summer with the masters, and I really want to learn about the artist. Van Gogh had to be painting 1 painting a day. And that was one of the quotes from Gustav, was that he said that he got up, and by 8 o'clock in the morning, he'd be walking through the forest, and he would not leave until 8 o'clock at night. So he was either at this time that he said this, was he waiting for the sun to come up, and was he staying until the sun went down? I don't know. But he said that he said, this is my day. This is what I do every day. This is what I must do every day. I must paint every single day. And I did see a link once again for Google's Art and Culture. And that was that app that I was telling you guys about that I fell in love with. I love that app, and there's always something new on it, whether it's a game. I was showing my husband, I put the widget on my phone, and so every morning I wake up to a new piece of artwork on my phone that I can look into and investigate. And if I like that artwork, I was wondering where that went. If I like the artwork, I can do things with it. I could do a remix. I could also send it as a postcard, and I could have the app generate a poem for the artwork. I love that. And I love the art games that they have. Like, they're not boring, and they're not like such high intellect that it's like, oh, I really don't understand this. We all want to understand a little bit more about art. And Adele's husband was a huge collector of fine porcelain. So you had Klimt that was moving into the Vienna Secession. He was breaking away from the traditions of what the Viennese and all these people, kind of like politicians and churches and traditionalists were saying, well, this is what art is. And he was like, no, I've traveled around and I want to use different materials, and I want to try different techniques, and I want to explore art. And they were like, no, the things that you want to explore basically are pornographic. But so you had that going on where Klimt was breaking away, and he was going more towards the Art Nouveau movement. And with Adele's husband, this was also a time for the medium of art was like Baroque or romantic, and he was moving into a classic. The porcelain and architecture was moving more towards classic, clean lines. And I had some pictures that I wanted to show you. So I found the parallel between the two men that were moving in two different directions. They were breaking away from tradition and what was, because at the time, I can only imagine, this was the Victorian time, and the women, had when they set a table, it was like tureens and different glasses for everything, and different utensils, and everything was very ornate and Baroque. And her husband was moving away from all those busy patterns, beautiful as they are. I love Baroque. I love Rococo. And that's what was going on at the time. And they said that he had the largest collection of porcelain. There's also, of course, we have the movie. I was thinking about having a movie night. Everybody tell me when you're available. We'll watch Helen Mirren play the niece of Adele, trying to get this painting back. We'll get into the story that'll be part of the masterclass of how this painting was taken from the family, ended up in a gallery, and then the gallery didn't want to give it back. So I am so, I cannot wait to see the movie. I love Helen Mirren. But anytime you look up anything on this portrait, the movie comes up. So I'm so ready to watch it. I would love to watch it with you guys. I used to do a movie night on Facebook. And that was really interesting because on Facebook, you know, you can get together and you can act like in real time. And I also used to do on Facebook, not just a movie night, but a movie get together where if there was I would have people, you know, put on the page, like, what are the movies in the theater and what do you want to go and see? And we would all get together and, you know, we would buy, you know, pre-buy our tickets. So, you know, it was nailed down. We're all going to go and see this movie. We didn't get far. We got further doing the movie at home. Because doing the movie out, oh my gosh, bunch of wild women. We went to go see, we all went to go see together Bohemian Rhapsody. Because some of us, I know my husband was at Live Aid here in Philly. I don't think Freddie Mercury was here. I think he was in London for Live Aid. But my husband was at Live Aid. I don't think that there's a concert that's been in Philadelphia that my husband hasn't been to. Which is great, you know. I love that. My first concert was the Rolling Stones. Now, I know this is not, you know, a masterclass on Adele, but it is history. Come on. I mean, let's face it. I have a Rolling Stones shirt that I wear here a lot because it says 1962. That was the year I was born. And the Rolling Stones were already rocking. So they are a piece of art history. That was my first concert. I was young, too young to be at a Rolling Stone concert. And the only reason why I was there was because my girlfriend's father was a security guard at the Spectrum. And he said, you two girls are going to a concert. You're going to witness a piece of history, rock and roll history. Well, he had great intentions, but we were horrified. I was hugging my Donny Osmond poster when I got home. I had no idea what I was in for. It was, we had to leave, and being that her father, well, here's the other thing. This was, let's just say this was the stage. Here's where we were. Right here. The only people in front of us were the press. And then these two young girls were sitting next. And oh my God, it was a horror. It was a horror. It was a horror. I think we were high just from the pot that was being, the residual smoke that was going on. But we had a great time. Okay, I'm going to get back to my Adele notes. Let's see here. I really wanted to do a voiceover, but I think it'll be okay if I just do it this way. Because I want to tell you more about Adele. I really do miss my Apple products. So, what I love about Adele and her husband Ferdinand is that when they got married, they both hyphenated their names. She was Adele Bloch, and he was Ferdinand Bauer. And I love that they both, when they got married, they hyphenated their names. So she was Adele Bloch Bauer, and he was Ferdinand Bloch Bauer. Not something that I've heard before, but I really, really love that. And, you know, Adele was a very influential figure in the early 20th century, Vienna. She was, that we know of, the subject of two of Gustav's paintings. Absolutely think more. When you look at his paintings, you were like, that's Adele's face. So, but we do know that this portrait of Adele Bloch Bauer, number one, is in 1907. And we know that he was doing The Kiss. And portrait of Adele Bloch Bauer number 2 is 19012. I believe our girl here was a Leo. She's an August girl, like myself. August the 9th, 1881, born in Vienna, Austria. And she died young, Adele, January 25th, 1925. I think that makes her like in her 40s. Her family was a very wealthy Jewish family. And her father, Moritz Bauer, was a successful banker. And she married Ferdinand Bloch, a prominent industrialist, and they later hyphenated their names to Bloch Bauer. So her connection to Klimt, there's not really much on how they met, but being the socialite that she was, I can only imagine, and him being from Vienna also, that it wasn't that hard to, she was a patron, I'm sure. So her connection to him was, I believe that, she was a prominent patron of the arts and did become a close friend to Gustav Klimt. Enough so, I'm sure that her husband, I'm trying to paint a backstory here, knew that Adele, respected him as a painter. And I believe that that's probably why, he knew that his wife was a patron of the arts and loved the arts and loved to have these salon parties. And that she became a close friend of his. And I believe that that's why her husband commissioned him to paint her portrait. This iconic portrait, I should say. And, even though we have this, it's just hitting me now how Gustav Klimt's portraits tend to be renamed, because the name of this is Portrait of Adele Bloch Bauer, but it's often referred to as Woman in Gold. And it really did become a symbol of Klimt's golden phase because of, I don't know how much gold was used in the kiss, but when I did look this up in the gallery in New York, you can see that there's just a luxurious amount of gold, a luxurious amount of gold leaf and silver leaf and very intricate detailing. So, what else did I learn about Adele? Well, I think the most, other than, the most famous thing, she was painted by a famous artist. The painting became iconic. How much more famous can this painting become? Well, there was a restitution case for this painting. And, during World War II, the painting was seized by the Nazis from the Bloch Bauer family. And that is because I believe Adele was already gone. And I believe Adele, when she passed away, she left the painting to, I believe, the Belvedere Museum. I'm not sure. I'm trying to go back to what I learned, even though it was not hers to gift at the time of her death. Maybe it was hers to gift at the time of her death if her husband died first, but it really was his. And after it was returned, or after after the war, it was displayed in the Belvedere Museum, where most of Klimt's, I think that they have the largest amount of Klimt paintings. And I believe it was there up until the 90s, the 1990s. And it was Adele's niece, Marie Altman, who we're going to see in the movie, played by Helen Mirren. She began the legal battle to reclaim the painting. And it was in 2006 that the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Altman, leading to the painting's return to her family. I mean, can you imagine? But the painting was sold later to Ronald Lauder of the New Gallery in New York, where it remains on display. So that's some of the complex history that we know about this painting. And it always makes me think like about Ferdinand getting Klimt to commissioning Klimt to paint his wife's portrait. And of course they had a close friendship and he must have been overwhelmed. Yes, sure. You know, he's wealthy, materials and paint and leafing are absolutely, I'm sure, no matter, you know, whatever you need, Gustav, just paint this luxurious painting of my wife. You know, money is no object. And then to think about how much became of this painting. So I just always try and go back and try and watch it, you know, play out in my mind like a movie. I haven't gone into the Google Art and Culture app that my research was saying yes to go, and if you want to know more about this painting, you should go there and do some research. I haven't done that yet. But I love the sketch work. I do. I have to put the sketch up. And again, I don't know if I said this in the beginning because I read so much and I write so much. I don't know what I said and what I wrote and what I just read. But, you know, this is actually Adele sitting in a chair. And that it's been said that the background is so elaborate, and the dress that she is wearing, that they kind of, he had that technique too, even with the lovers in The Kiss, you know, where their bodies kind of meld it together. And you see that a lot with his work, where I don't know why he would want Adele to kind of fall back into the background and become part of the background. Maybe they gave a more ethereal effect to her being in the backdrop, or maybe that her lifestyle was so elaborate and luxurious, you couldn't, you know, like her just being surrounded by all this wealth and beauty and privilege, you know, like that there was no demarcation between, you know, how she dressed and what her surroundings were. I don't know. But, you know, I'm going to, when I go over to the gallery, I am going to look and see, like, can you tell that she's sitting? Can you tell that she's a separate entity, or does she really meld into this background? Something else that I read too that I thought was really interesting is that Gustav put initials in the painting, and that they are her initials. So I don't know if they're going to show up on this canvas, but I will be looking out for that also when I do my little investigative Nancy Drew work on this painting when I get over to the Neue Gallery, Neue, maybe, in New York. In fact, I have to look it up and see where it is. That's a gallery that I have never been to. I've been to the Guggenheim. I've been to the Art Museum. But I've never been to this gallery. I've been to a few galleries on Prince Street. I think I told you guys my girlfriend is a painter and an art teacher in one of the public schools in New York. And she does a lot with ink. Where she just will take ink from a jar and she will use a dropper and she will create wonderful flowing, moving I don't even know how she does it. It's just like, boom, she's done. On to the next one. And she did a beautiful portrait of a woman, and she seemed to be dancing. And it got a lot of recognition. And she was showing at the Prince Gallery on Prince Street. And I've watched her hone her craft for years. Now, I did this deliberately right now, making picking up more drills, because one thing that I want to remember about this canvas is that, and I wanted to tell you guys, is that if you notice, I don't have any washi tape on the edge, and that is because the glue line stops right here. It doesn't go any further. It's the only canvas that I've ever worked on where there's not a glue line along the edge. And when I was unboxing this canvas, I was like, what is this? Like, there was a lot of confusion on the canvas. I think they could have did a better job on the detailing that they put on there, the information that they wanted you, the consumer, to know. But they did say something about new technology, and I was like, well, I wonder, is it the glue line here? And it was. So it's like this spray technique, and I believe it's a German technique. And I was like, well, that makes sense, because the Germans are just, their workmanship and craftsmanship is unparalleled. My ex-brother-in-law used to travel out to Germany all the time, and he just was like, he just could not go on enough about how beautiful it was, and the technology, and how everything was so precise. And one thing about this painting, though, I will say, is that I am running out of black drills. Now, I have all this to do yet. Now, I know that there's definitely not enough there. Now, I don't know, did I put, oh, there's some left here, but I did run out of drills yesterday. And you know what I did? I had to go into my little commemorative jar from the Kiss, and I had to pull out some orange drills, some of these drills that were put away from the Kiss, these ones, from my commemorative jar that I have. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I bought a bunch of these jars from Amazon to use. And what I do is I take a few of each color in the palette and I keep it in here. This is my second jar that I've decided to use as a commemoration of getting the canvas done. And so I opened this up yesterday and I pulled out all the, they're almost the same palette. I had to pull a few out because I was missing a few. So, and I'm looking at this black here, and like, either I'm going to cut it really close. Probably my one peeve here with this canvas is that I don't think that you should cut it that close when you're working on something. So I do hang over the edge when I do, so that I have a straight line here. So I'll pick up more than what I need. And I place it down, and then it's not going to stick where I don't have glue. So that's really nice to be able to do there. Now her hair is a little or maybe it's just me. Maybe I need more coffee. Come on. Or maybe it's the black. I can't really see that well. I'm going to see if I have any other notes from this first installment. But I'm going to finish up the black. That's what I'm going to do. And if I have any notes from the first installment, I'll do a voiceover. Hello, I am breaking away from the diamond painting. I have been diamond painting for an additional half an hour, and I did that quietly because I was going to do a voiceover. But the notes that I have are really for the second installment. I think we covered pretty much of who Adele was, and I'd really like to save the second installment because I'm coming into that area of the canvas, which has to do with her choker and her jewelry and her husband. And I'd really like to save that for the second installment. So I'm going to show you where I left off, and hopefully this, so her hair is done. And I had said when I was diamond painting that I had already run out of this color. See that little bow tie? And it's right here. And so I don't have, can you see? Oh, you can't. I have my other tripod that I'm using, and so where am I? Oh, here I am. Maybe you could have seen it. It's right here, and I see some more here, and I'm thinking, why did I run out of this color already? So I actually see a few more down below. That's a little upsetting because I'm going to have to order, and I love diamond painting with sparklers, which is where I will probably get them from, but they take a while to get here, and I'm looking to get this done for Summer with the Masters. So I don't know if I can find these jewels on Amazon. I don't know if I have any upstairs in my own stash of this particular color. 946 seems like a very familiar color to me. Or I can dig through the stash that I have, but I did something really crazy because I had so many drills. I can maybe dig through here and try and find them, but there's quite a bit, you know. I don't know what I'm going to do at this point. So I was like, let me just stop. I'm getting a little, I need to get my second wind. And so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll already have a jump on tomorrow's installment for Adele and her jewelry and her husband and her family, unless that's going to be like a third installment, because I want to have enough to complete the canvas. But do I really need to? I mean, if there's only so much that I can tell you, and it's going to take me longer than to complete this than there is to tell you things, then it'll just be a whip and chat and not a masterclass. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to try and figure out what I'm going to do about these missing drills that I don't have enough of. And I know I didn't have any extra except for one color that I didn't have a container that was big enough. And I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll make a link on Amazon if I can actually get these on Amazon, because that would be the fastest way for me. And I want to get done. The gods are always listening. I tell you that all the time. Don't even say it out loud. I'm going to get this done before Summer with the Masters. No. Gods are saying, no, you're not. I'm tired. So I will see you guys in the morning, and then this way I can get this edited and get it up, and I think it's pretty much ready to go. Create the world you want to live in, and I will see you in the next one.